Okay, let's get this party started.
Okay.
You ready?
Let's go ahead and get started then. Yeah, ready when you are.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, so as Danny mentioned, go ahead, Danny.
You're just gonna cut me off like that?
Go for it. It's all yours.
No, I'm just gonna do a quick intro. Okay, thanks everyone for making it today. Appreciate it. So we're really excited about Schletter and their new product line coming out. And the first step that will be the flush mount product. It's called the ProLine, and we've showcased it before at Electricity Transformation Canada, and super excited about it. Yeah. So with that said, Talal will do the presentation. Talal is what's your title, Talal? Actually,
I'm the sales manager.
He's sales manager for Rooftop, right? For all of North America, and yeah, he's going to do a presentation on the new product line. There is a chat function at the bottom right of your screen, probably. If you have questions, feel free to write them in there. Or there's also, I think you could just raise your hand. There's a button with a hand on it, at which point you just raise your hand, and then when we have a break between slides, we can get to you that way as well. You can ask your questions that way. So yeah, we're really excited about this. And Talal, if you want to take it from here, I'll probably interrupt you a bunch of times.
No worries. I was going to say I'll just pause for a second after every slide as well. So if there's any questions about the specific slide, we can take a second and address those questions as well. Okay, so let's jump right into this. So hello and welcome to all of you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us for this webinar presentation. Today, as the title suggests, we plan to introduce you to our new ProLine series of flush mount components, specifically for residential projects. So I will start by just introducing myself again. My name is Talal Hamadani, and I'm the rooftop sales manager for Schletter North America. I am located in Windsor, Ontario in Canada, and I've been with Schletter for just about 2 years now. So here are the items we plan to cover today. I'd like to begin with a quick introduction to Schletter, who we are and what we do. Then I'll start by talking about our warranty. Then from there, we'll jump onto the actual components of the ProLine series, starting with the new Pro 35 and the Pro 50 rails. We'll talk about their spanning capacity and show you some example charts that we've put together. We'll introduce you to our new splice connector for the Pro rails, which is now one piece and no longer requires any hardware. We also have a new updated Pro clamp, which is one size fits all. Then we'll talk about our main residential rooftop attachments, including the Rapid2+Pro SML for shingle and metal roofs, as well as our KlickTop Pro. And then we'll finish off with some wire management options. There's a lot going on at Schletter right now, and it's Frankensolar as well. And we're really excited to share all of this with you. So like I said, we'll start with a quick overview of the Schletter group itself. Schletter was originally founded in 1968 as a metal fabricator. We got into the solar racking world about 22 years ago in 2001. We are a global company with over 500 employees, including a very large research and development team that's constantly working to improve our systems and offer the latest technology-driven products. We have teams in at least 20 countries, with our main headquarters being in Germany. We offer a wide range of solar mounting options to cover everything from flat roof and pitched roofs to fixed tilt ground mounts and tracker systems. We do have manufacturing capabilities out of multiple locations, including Europe, Asia, and North America. We pride ourselves on having supplied 40 gigawatts of racking by the end of 2021. And I would say that number is probably closer to around 45 gigawatts now. In Canada alone, we have supplied racking for well over 15,000 projects. Here we just have a quick map showing all 20 of our locations on 5 different continents around the world. So Schletter rooftop components are made from high quality aluminum, making them lightweight, durable, and capable of withstanding the elements, including some of the rather harsher winters that we have here in Canada. We are confident in the products that we sell, And so on top of the quality assurance, we offer a 25-year warranty on all of our rooftop systems, which is among the best warranties that you'll find for racking. Our components are UL and CSA certified with approval stamps on the required components and testing documentation available on request. We also have a very large list of panels that are UL approved to be used with our racking, and we're constantly adding new ones from a wide range of manufacturers. At our headquarters in Germany, we have an on-site lab and testing center, which our research and development department is always busy working in.
And it's a 25-year warranty on all aluminum hardware, right? So that's all the rooftop racking as well as PV Max, right?
Yes,
so it also includes PV Max, but not if you have a utility type or large commercial type ground mount that uses a steel solution. That would be a 10-year warranty. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct. Okay. Yep. So now for the fun stuff, introducing our new Pro rails. So the Sola has been our go-to rail for years and has and still does a very solid job providing everything you need in a rail. But everything comes to a point where it can use some updating and improving. And this is where the new ProLine series is born. We've taken the Solo and we've redesigned it into two new profiles. The Pro 50, pictured on the right, which is actually a little bit stronger than the Solo, but uses less material. And the Pro 35 on the left, which is significantly smaller than the Solo, which means far less material while still offering good strength and spanning capability, and will be a great benefit cost-wise on projects where Solo or Pro 50 would be a little bit of an overkill here. So as I mentioned, they do come in two sizes, the Pro 35 and the Pro 50 for small and large spans. And there is a reduction in size or material usage while still producing increased load capacity in comparison to the Solo rail. The new ProLine rails also include an updated upper channel from 8 millimeters to 10 millimeters to accommodate our new ProLine clamps with added strength. The rails are available in 2.4 meter and 4.8 meter lengths for improved efficiency when it comes to shipping and installation. I know from our experience as well as Frankensolar's that shipping the longer rails can lead to some damages. So at the 2.4 meter size, we really cut down the chances since this can fit on a standard pallet most of the time. The other important thing to note is that our rails are bottom mounted, which is an advantage to side mounting because it provides increased structural and fixation strength. So we don't want to get too technical here, but we did put together a few span charts showing the comparisons in the rails. So here are 8 cities in different provinces across Canada. Using an example building height of 10 meters, which is usually what we find for residential, we see that the Pro 35 can span at least 0.7 meters or 2.3 feet everywhere across the country, with an average span around 0.9 meters, which is about 3 feet. So that's the Pro 35. With the Pro 50 and the Solo, on the other hand, they're very close in strength, like I said, with the Pro 50 being just a bit stronger while still using less material than the Solo. And I'll just stick on this slide for a second to give you guys a second to take a look at it. If you have any questions, please let me know.
And I want to add to that a lot of people, especially in Eastern Canada, the East Coast, as well as Ontario, are doing 2-foot-on centers on residential. So looking at this, obviously the Pro 35 will anywhere, even in St. John's, Newfoundland, St. John's, Newfoundland, will work on 2-foot-on centers. So there's a significant cost savings in going that route, right? So that's why we're bringing on the Pro 35 as well as the Pro 50. But then if people want to go 4-foot-on centers, now obviously with the Pro 50, you couldn't go 4-foot-on centers in St. John's, for example, but in Edmonton, Alberta, you could, for example. Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's there's a spot obviously for Pro 50, especially in commercial applications. But yeah, so both options will be there, and we'll be having this chart as well to share with our partners.
Perfect. Okay, so now moving away from the rails a little bit towards my favorite part about this entire line of components, the all new Pro Splice connector. So this splice is one piece, no hardware, and in my opinion, an absolute game changer for installation crews. Also pictured here is the new version of our plastic end caps. So to continue on about the splices, with a side-by-side comparison on the new Pro Connector splice on the right and the old Solo splice bars on the left.
Yeah, so about that, we're pretty excited about the splice, as Talal was saying, as it is just one component. It will become, it allows us to go shorter rails, and you can then on the site turn it into a longer rail. It will be a zero gap splice, meaning that you can connect them and it will literally be like one rail. And if you like to work with a longer rail on the roof, you can do that. But if you prefer to work with a shorter rail, you can also do that. And then obviously the shipping damages, which has been a little bit of an issue especially since COVID started. We're always trying to help reduce shipping damages, and using shorter rails and being able to put them onto a skid is really an advantageous for that. Also reduces shipping costs on our side, of course, which then means we can have less margin on the product. So all that stuff helps, of course. So now it'd be really handy to have the next slide, which I don't. So I'll just wait on Haseen and see if she got a hold of Talal.
Andy, it's Al.
Hey, Al.
Yeah, how you doing? The 2.4, is the price per meter relatively the same?
Yeah, so 2.4 and 4.8 meters, the price per meter is exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same. The only difference will be you'll need extra splices, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, so that will be the price difference. But yeah, Schletter is charging us the same amount, and we'll be charging the same amount to our partners as well. It's in our best interest to actually use the 2.4 meters. We like to reduce shipping damages because it is, not only on the financial side on paying for replacement rails, but also on just the logistics side of things of dealing with broken product and dealing with the shipping companies on getting refunded, partially refunded usually on that is just not a fun thing to do, and it takes a lot of time, right? So we're always trying to reduce the shipping damages, which is also why we've invested in a wrapping machine, which you may have seen on our LinkedIn or Instagram posts, that really shrink wraps the skids really tightly when we have skids, right? To like any way we can reduce shipping damages, we will.
So the bonding screws aren't needed then?
No. It's just literally like you have a rail,
yeah,
and you have a splice. You stick the splice in there, and then you take the other rail and stick it in there, and that's it. There's no components. It has little metal piece basically that goes counter to the rail. Mm-hmm. So it goes in, but once you put in the splice, it's almost impossible to remove it.
Excellent.
Right? So it's really easy to work with. So for installers, it'll be quite handy.
Sounds super.
Yeah. Any other questions while we wait on Talal? Looks like there's a question. There we go. How's the supply chain looking for this season? We have had some big supply issues with other racking suppliers last season. Yes. So just like anyone, I mean, there's been racking and supply chain issues on certain components with us as well, and Schletter. However, that's all behind us. I'm not worried about it. So we have plenty of product here now, of the old type of Schletter rail, which is the Solo, and the old components. The new rail will come in. The new rail will come in probably early June. And we got Talal back, which is awesome. So yeah, we'll have.
Cut off there, guys. Sorry.
Did you have a power outage?
I did not have a power outage. No, I'm not sure why I got kicked off, but I was continuing on, and then I went to ask you a question, and you didn't answer.
I just winged it, so I hope it's been good.
Sorry. What point did I get cut off on?
We were talking about the splice, I think, last. But let me just quickly finish on the point I was saying about the supply chain. Sure. So yeah, so we should be fine starting June with this new product. In the meantime, we have plenty of stock of all Schletter rail and components until that point. And at one point, they'll be kind of running parallel. So there will still be old Schletter products available as well as the new Schletter product. So they'll be running in parallel for a little bit. And then the current or the older model will slowly get phased out. And then there's a question from Steve Talal, and you can probably answer this one better than I do. And he's asking about how do thermal expansion joints work with these new splices?
So for thermal expansion, so I would have to get back to Joe on that one, but there is a gap that will be placed, of course, between the panels. I would just have to find out from Joe exactly.
So there's a thermal expansion every so often, Steve, I think. So exactly. With these splices, that's not an issue. You don't need to worry about thermal expansion until you're at probably about 15 meters or something like that, 16 meters, something like that. So at that point, you need to have a thermal gap, just like you would with any other product. And you just basically treat them as separate arrays.
Okay, are you able to see my screen again now?
We can, and we saw your Raptors logo too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's my team. Okay. Did I show this slide already?
Yes, we were looking at that exactly.
Okay, and then we saw that on to this one here.
Yep.
You saw this one as well. And
no, we didn't go here yet. No, we didn't go there yet.
Okay, so let me just take over again here. My apologies, guys. I'm not sure why I got dropped out there, but okay. So to show you how this thing works, pictured on the left is the bottom side of the splice. Which has a pre-installed plate inserted into it and a stop tab sticking out in the center, along with two sharp tabs at an angle on either side. So all you need to do is slide the rail and the splice together until the rail meets with the stop tab, and then the self-locking mechanism will keep the splice from ever coming out. So it's very fast, very easy, very convenient installation, leaving no gap between the two rails and making it possible to clamp anywhere along the span of the rail. Okay, so then speaking of the clamps, here are our new RapidPro clamps to go with our new rail channels. So you'll notice that they do look a lot like our Rapid 16 clamps and still have all the great features like the pre-assembly and the integrated grounding pins. But the new advantage is that these clamps are one fits all. In the past, we did have a vertical and a horizontal version of each clamp. So these ones can be set either way without having to take them apart. So with the Rapid 16, we also had an end and a mid clamp for 30 to 40 millimeter module heights, as well as one for 40 to 50 millimeter module heights. With the RapidPro clamps, we'll now eliminate that requirement as well by offering a range of clamping height from 30 to 50 millimeters with one clamp. So also upgraded with the clamps is the M8 torque screw, which is now an M10 and will provide additional strength in high wind and high snow locations. So whereas before we were using in high wind areas where the Rapid 16s would fail, we would use the Rapid 16 extended version, which was a 100 millimeter long clamp. So we can avoid that situation completely now, and this one clamp will work for everything.
Quick question here from Steve as well, like a follow-up to the expansion joints. He says, I understand the need for expansion joints. With the Solo, expansion joints were done by only fastening on one side. With the new joints, the barbs lock and joint preventing slippage, right? So I guess at that point, you actually need to have a physical break every 16 meters or whatever it is. Yes, so that will be one of the differences, Steve. That is not going to be possible going forward.
Absolutely.
I actually wonder if you could technically just like push the piece
probably
down.
push down the sharp part on one side to allow.
Yeah,
it to
maybe
still
you can
move
do that.
further.
Maybe it's something you can look into and get back to us on.
Yeah,
to see
like
if
I
that
said, I
is-
did have a conversation with Joe about it just yesterday about the expansion joints and how we're going to put them in. So I'll follow up with Joe and see if that's an option for us.
Okay, sounds good.
Great question, though. Thank you.
Yeah, very good question. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, so as for the attachments, we do have two main rooftop attachments for residential roofs. Our first one, and the most popular by far, is the Rapid2+Pro SML. So this SML foot is for asphalt shingle as well as metal roofs, and it can be adjusted to different heights to clear and avoid roof obstacles, such as ridges in metal roofing. It comes pre-assembled, and it's very easy to use. It's got a single point attachment, and one bolt tightens on the back to lock the rail into place, as pictured here in the center. So this would be pushed off of here a little bit when it's loose. The rail slides on top, and then all we do is tighten this bolt up, and it's good to go, locked in place.
Probably the easiest way to mount onto a L foot and between, like, connect the L foot to a rail is your solution. It's Natalie, who works for us, has worked in racking for many years prior to joining us, and she always talks about how sleek this solution is. And installers generally love it because it's just very fast and easy to work with.
Oh, that's great. I agree. So this is the same SML foot being used on top of RoofTech RT Mini flashing system on a shingle roof. So the beauty of this is that it doesn't require a direct connection to the rafters underneath, and it can be screwed directly into the roof deck for fast installation. I believe in Canada, this style is our most common. Danny, would you say the majority of products?
Yeah, I think anything on a shingled roof, I would say probably 95% of systems currently that use the SML foot, it gets placed on top of a RT Mini from RoofTech.
Yeah.
It's just a very easy solution to mount to a roof and make sure it's watertight. You don't have to hit any trusses or anything, right? You can go straight into the decking, which is really convenient for installers on site.
Very, very convenient. So it's a very popular option. The other option, of course, is to go directly to the surface with a piece of butyl tape or similar product for waterproofing. But this would, of course, require a connection directly to the rafter or the structure of the roof. So the Rapid2+Pro SML can also be used on metal roofs. And like with the direct application to shingle roofs, this would require a connection to the rafter or the structure underneath the metal sheet. So this is where the adjustability of the height of the L foot is very helpful, providing the ability to span over top of ridges in the panels, as shown in the image on the top right. So here we have a trapezoidal sheet metal roof. So we have our L feet on either side in the valleys here, and then we're able to just adjust the height to the maximum and span the rail over top of the trapezoidal ridge.
To go back quickly to the previous slide about RT Mini, I just want to highlight that we have a webinar with RoofTech about this solution specifically. I think it's in 2 weeks. So if you haven't signed up and you're interested in finding out more about RT Mini, join that webinar. It's going to be talking specifically about why RT Mini is such a game changer in the market and how it makes sure that there's no leaks in your roof without using an actual flashing and connecting to the decking.
Awesome. I'll actually like to sit into that one as well.
Yeah,
so,
go for it. Join us.
I'd love to join that one. Awesome. Okay, so that takes us on to the other rooftop connection attachment. So this one is our KlickTop Pro, which is commonly referred to as a gator clamp by a lot of people, and is used with hanger bolts, and sometimes we use it in other applications with our fixed grid flat roof system. One of the popular ones that we see it used with is of course, the EOT flashing and hanger bolt systems. Again, like the SML foot, it's a very easy connection with the rail, and a simple tightening of the bolt locks the rail into place, as shown in the image here on the right. So this is adjustable, can be moved back and forth. As soon as this bolt locks into place, the rail can't be moved.
Yeah, and this is probably the solution in the past that was most commonly used, is the EOT flashing with the Gator clamp. There's a company in Ontario alone that has probably about 8,000 of these systems installed, residential systems, and they haven't had any issues as far as we're aware of with water leakages or anything of that sort. So it's a very, very good solution and very well tested in the market. But I think, on the flashing side of things, we always evolve, and there's better ways of doing things. And some people still like using the EOTs. It's definitely a good solution. Just the RoofTech RT Mini gives the customers, the installers, typically a little bit more flexibility, and it's easier to adjust and quicker to install. So both very good solutions, and we still do sell a fair bit of the just the hanger bolts as well for metal roofs, and they get they connect to the trusses, and they can come in a variety of different lengths, and then typically if you're using a hanger bolt, the Gator clamp or KlickTop attachment is what's being used with that.
Awesome. And you do offer the EOT flashing as well?
Yes, we still have that available as well. There's been some mixed communication from EOT about if they're planning to continue that product or not. They definitely have seen their volume drop quite drastically since the RT Mini came around.
Okay, got it. Okay, so aside from components, the metal components, we do have some wire management options available, like our Pro multi-clip and our mounting clips, which attach directly to the rails. For attaching micro inverters, we have introduced a new Pro hammerhead nut, which will slide into either the top or the bottom channel of the rails. Can be used on both. And of course, is CSA certified and can be seen in the photos above on the right. So this is basically how you would use this to have this system here. And this is something I know in the past, our solution for this was not the most convenient. I think it had four to six pieces. So they were small, they were plastic. So this should kind of help out a lot.
Yeah, we're excited about this for sure.
Awesome.
Kyle is asking, are the Pro Clip multi-plastic or metal material?
They're plastic.
Yeah. The only one that's obviously the hammerhead nut is metal, of right?
Course.
And then obviously all the other stuff is plastic.
Correct. Follow-up question to that at all?
No, doesn't look like it. Maybe it'll come. If anyone else have any questions so far? Doesn't look like it. Okay, keep going.
Perfect. So that does bring us to the end of our products for residential use. I just want to mention that we do have an updated rooftop component overview for 2023, which includes all of our flush mount systems, as well as our fixed grid flat roof system. Please reach out to one of your Frankensolar reps who would be happy to provide you with a copy. Additional info is also available on our website.
Yeah, and I wanna quickly say too. So, of course, these components can work in commercial applications as well. This is not just limited to residential. We're just trying to keep the presentation somewhat short and not bore you guys for an hour and a half. We will do a second presentation on flush mount in the near future on commercial as well. Schletter has a whole variety of different flush mounts solution attachment methods for commercial roofs as well. So we'll definitely be looking into those. There's also going to be a presentation on small utility or large commercial ground mount as well. Probably going to do one about PV Max at one point, and definitely going to have one about the commercial flat roof solutions as well. So
Yes,
there's
sir.
going to be a whole variety of further presentations. Like I said, we're trying to keep them somewhat short to keep everyone's attention span. I know everyone has a lot of stuff going on as well. And yeah, so that's
That's awesome. So just to mention, we also do have a variety of installation and training videos, which can be found on our Schletter Group YouTube page. And then just before we finish up here, I just like to once again mention, we do offer a wide range of solar racking systems, like Danny was saying, and we will have webinars on the rest of those. We have a flush mount and fixed grid system for flat roofs. We have facades for 90-degree installations, fixed tilt ground mount systems like our FS Uno and our PV Max, as well as a 2P and newly debuted 1P tracking system. So again, if you'd like to see any additional info about these systems, your Frankensolar rep will be more than happy to help assist.
Yeah, and I want to say too, like from our standpoint, why we partner with Schletter all those years ago and still are. I think what's really important is, versus some of the smaller Canadian manufacturers that are out there, is the huge R&D team that Schletter has. I think you guys got over 20 people in R&D in Germany, right? A huge,
and always hire additional ones as well, yeah.
Yeah, and a huge support staff there as well. When it comes to bankability, I don't think there's anything anywhere close to Schletter in the Canadian market. When we're building larger projects specifically, I think bankability is a huge thing. If something, does go wrong, like on a larger scale, Schletter is going to be able to stand behind their products, which other companies would go bankrupt, right? So I think racking being such an important part of your whole solar system, I think that is a huge feature that cannot be overlooked. And yeah, so that's kind of why Frankensolar partners with Schletter, and yeah, just like this too, like Schletter is always evolving and trying to make their products better. That's why there is a new product out now, right? Because you guys invested into R&D and decided that the old solar rail has reached its max potential and there's just no further way to improve it under the current design. And then, in order to improve, then you need to make some changes. But, keeping the same strength or even increasing strength while reducing material, and specifically in racking means less cost, right? And that's always what's important at the end of the day is making sure that a product is affordable. And at the same time, it's going to hold up to the rigors of, in our case, the Canadian climate.
Yep.
Does anyone have any questions?
The other thing I will mention is that we also have a large design and engineering team aside from our R&D team. So we're always available to help support with designs, with drawings, with stamping, anything that we can help provide to make it easier on you guys is always something we're able to help with.
Yeah, so if anyone has any questions about any of this or any Schletter products, or any other products for that matter that we carry, feel free to reach out your Frankensolar sales rep if you have one. If you don't, send us an email to sales@frankensolar.ca, and I will be getting that, and then I'll facilitate from there. So that would be the way forward if you need any help. And yeah, doesn't look like there is any questions at this point. So thanks everyone for
thank
attending.
you. I just once again like to say thank you so much to Frankensolar for putting us on and for continuing to be a great partner to us. And thank you everybody else for taking time out of your day to come listen. Yeah,
thanks to Talal, appreciate it.
Sorry that we cut out for a minute there, but
all good.
We came in and cleaned up at the end.
Sounds good. Yeah, if anyone wants to watch it again, it will be on YouTube in a few days. So welcome to do that. And then reach out if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Danny.
Bye.
Have a great afternoon.